Hi, you guys. I am Daddy. I'm Michael. My name is Michael. I live in the United States of America, which is about 5,700 miles away from you right now. When I was a little kid, about 10 years old, 12 years old, 14 years old, I used to think about people in Africa. I thought, wow, there's people in Africa, and they're mostly black people. And I came from an all-white little town where everybody, every single person in the town was white. And so I thought, who are these black people? Who are the black people? Well, I was going to find out. You know, Christina called me and we talked on Saturday about the fact that she had wanted to start up this class with a classroom, and that there were about 9 boys and 5 girls that were interested. Do you know I cried? What would make me cry? They weren't sad tears. No, they were very, very happy tears. And by the way, I have sniffles. Where I'm at, it's cold. It's very cold. It's still called winter here, so it's cold. But I cried because I thought, wow, Christina, my little baby girl, she loved you guys so much. She wanted to share the lessons that she's been learning from me. That's love, you guys. That's love. Look over at that little lady right there, Christina. She loves you guys. That's lesson number 1. Try to know who loves you and who doesn't. A lot of the world doesn't know you, doesn't love you, doesn't care about you, has no idea who you are. And then there's other people that have never seen you. I've never seen you. But the love I have is so strong inside of me for you. I can imagine in my mind, because God puts this in my mind. I can imagine who you are, what you are, where you are, why you are, when you are. I can imagine all the questions about you. Just like I can touch my beard, I can touch you guys with my imagination, with my mind, with my spirit. I can touch you. I want you to think about that. We don't have to be together to love each other. And I'm going to tell you right now, number 1, there's 2 things I want you to know. Number 1, 2 things. Number 1, 2 things, okay? Get it? God loves you. God is everywhere, not just in heaven, but all around. You're never alone, you guys. You're never, ever, ever alone. This is not church. I'm going to teach you philosophy. I'm a book writer. I wrote this book, and it's book number 40. So I write books. I'm a philosophy teacher. Did I just write one book? No, I wrote this book too. Did I just write these 2 books? No, I wrote this one too. I'm a philosophy teacher, and I write books. You see? I wrote all these things in all these books. And I'm not going to teach you religion, and I'm not going to teach you the Bible. We're going to talk about the Bible. We're going to talk about religion sometimes. But we're going to talk about ideas, things that will help you to be the best person you can be. I want you to be the best person you can be. The best young kid you can be. Young person. No matter where you're at, whether you're in America, whether you're in Africa, whether you're in India, whether you're in China, whether you're in Europe, whether you're in Canada, whether you're in South America, doesn't matter where you're from. It does not matter. You can grow and evolve and develop and become the best person you can be no matter where you're at. And that I want you to know. That I want you to know. I want you to know that. Okay? All right. So I was a young boy a white boy. You can see I'm white. White. But I don't like black and white because black's really a color. My keyboard is black and there's letters on there that are white. You're not this color of this keyboard and I'm not the color of the letters. So black and white, they're kind of funny words. There's no such thing as racism. You know why there's no such thing as racism? You know why? Because God made us all different, and so we should celebrate the differences. Celebrate. My wife is black. 27 years ago, I married a beautiful, dark-skinned black girl. People said, oh, wow, you married a dark-skinned black girl. And I said, yeah, so I like the difference between me and her. I like the word is contrast. I like that. When I was about 14 years old, I'd never been around a black person, and they called me up one day, and they said to me, they said, can you go to the hospital and take care of a little boy that's had its tonsils out and he's having a really hard time? I said, sure, I'll go volunteer at the hospital. I walked into the room, and I was like, oh my God, it's a black kid, a little black guy, about 15 years old, about my age. And I took care of him several days. And over the days, as I took care of this little boy, when he was sick and I wasn't, we were about the same age. He was sick and I wasn't. As I took care of him, I started to love him as a person, as one of me, different than me, but the same as me. I'm going to cry sometimes, you guys. I cry sometimes. Usually they're tears of joy because I'm happy. Sometimes I cry sad tears too. But let me tell you, I learned to love black people. I learned to understand that we're all the same. So my name is Daddy. I'm almost 70 years old. I'm very old, very wise. I've learned a lot in life. I've been in American business. I've been very successful in many, many ways. And now that I'm older and retired, I want to give of myself. And I want to give of myself to my young people. And God put me in Ghana, Africa, of all the places. Look over there. You see that flag flying over there? That's your flag. And I've got a couple of hundred young people that are a little older than you guys, in their 20s and 30s sometimes, that I teach. But I want to make special lessons just for you guys because I want to bring it down just a little bit because you're a little younger. You're all the way down from 12 years old. Hi, how you doing? I know you're 12. She told me, Christina told me that you're 12 and all the way up to about 18. How you doing? You're 18 years old. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Teenagers. I love teenagers. I've worked with teenage boys in the prison system here in the U.S. And it was fun to do. So this introduction is just to introduce myself to you. This is lesson number 001. Lesson number 1. I'm here to introduce myself to you and tell you that the first thing is that God loves you. God is everywhere. And the second thing that I haven't mentioned yet, I love you. My name is Michael. Sometimes I call myself Abdullah, which is an Islamic name for slave of God. I work for God. I want to give myself to God. All over the world, no matter where we're at, all over the world, I want to give myself to God. And the way you give yourself to God is to give yourself to others, because God is in all of us. And we're here to share that love. We're here to share that love back and forth. Do you understand? So I want to give lessons, and then I want Christina to lead you guys in discussions. I would like to see if we can do it that way, where I'll give a lesson, she'll let you watch a lesson that I brought you, and then you guys can have a nice discussion about it. And if you have questions, then she'll bring those to me, or you can bring those to me, and we'll figure it out. We'll answer questions together. We'll work together, okay? I love you guys very much. See the baseball player? See what color he is? This was American Negro Leagues. They used to, in America, they didn't let the black boys play on the same in the same league with the white boys, but finally they did. But back in the day, they had all kinds of teams. You see the teams there on my shirt there? And just black people only, black young men only playing. And finally one day in 1947, finally a young black boy by the name of Jackie Robinson came along and broke into the major leagues and was the only black boy in the white league. And then slowly more and more and more and more happened, and things changed. Sometimes things take a long time to change, a long time. We had a civil war here that I'm going to talk about in lesson number 2, that I want to discuss that civil war and talk about the changes that happened in that civil war. Okay, we're going to talk about that. But I'm going to close right now, and I'm going to tell you what I'm going to tell you all the time. God loves you, and I love you. And Jesus came onto this planet one day, about 2,000 years ago, and he gave 2 basic lessons. He said, love God with all your heart, all your mind, and all your soul. Your soul. And love your neighbor as yourself. And guess what? Guess who your neighbor is? Everybody. No matter whether he's over here around the other side of the world, or no matter whether that neighbor is next door to you. Love. It's all about love. The most powerful thing in the world is love. L-O-V-E, love. And that's what we'll talk about a lot together. I love you guys very much. We're on our way. This is lesson number 1. We're going to have lesson number 2 in just a minute, okay? All right. I love you guys, all right? Daddy's here to answer questions and to help you get through things. I want to try to be here in your life, okay? I love you very much.